Hey Jimmy, William Joy, WFAA. I've been trying to schedule an interview with you to talk about your use of the district's plane.
Granbury ISD is a district of 7,500 students an hour southwest of Fort Worth.
Granbury traffic, Cessna 2464 Yankee is departing runway 14.
It's the only Texas school district we could find that has its own private plane. Assistant Superintendent Jimmy Dawson helped organize the district's purchase of a Cessna Skyhawk last year. The goal was getting students interested in aviation and teaching them to fly. But WFAA discovered Dawson used the district's plane to take a family trip.
Granbury traffic, Cessna 2.
We tried to schedule an interview with him to find out why. He said he was busy and then stopped responding, so we went to get answers.
How often have you used the district's plane for personal trips?
Oh, I don't use it for personal trips.
But WFAA obtained flight records that suggest a different story. In June, the district's plane flew 250 miles on a round trip to Abilene. Then came this photo days later. Dawson's daughter posted on Facebook thanking him and her mother, also a Granbury administrator, for flying out to Abilene for lunch for her birthday. The district's plane is clearly visible. After we asked Dawson about it, it was deleted.
Did you fly to Abilene with your wife to visit your daughter?
I have, and what I do is I have to get required time, and so FAA requires required time.
The FAA requires 3 flights of any time or distance in 90 days to keep a pilot's license active or current, but that doesn't explain why Dawson was using the district's plane to do that. He doesn't teach students to fly according to the district. In fact, according to the FAA, he doesn't have the proper certification to teach. The district says Dawson takes students on demo flights and, quote, "It is important to our district that anyone who flies in our airplane does so regularly." But since January 1st this year, the district says he's flown with students just 3 times.
Cessna 2464 Yankee is on.
During
right
those 10
now.
months, he also flew the plane by himself 3 times, but the district wouldn't share where those flights were to or what they were for.
You know, we tried to email you and schedule an interview.
Right. So I get to fly out of the plane because I'm a private pilot.
We are here to be transparent to the public, to serve these students.
Dr. Watt L. Black Jr. is an education leadership and ethics professor at SMU and compares Dawson's flight to a bus driver using a district school bus for a family trip.
I don't recall having seen cases ever where district employees would take a bus or a van or a Suburban and load their family up and take them on a family vacation. It wouldn't be appropriate, right? That's not why the taxpayers fund those purchases.
Who's approving this, right? Like, is the superintendent, the board, they know you're
We
taking
all
these
approve it.
flights?
Yes, we've all gone
So
through
they know
the
you're taking these
training.
personal trips?
No, they're not personal trips. They're
Well,
trips
what would
to
you
stay
call it?
current.
So-
They're trips to stay current.
Right. Well, any trip is a trip to stay current.
The trips he takes come with a cost. Records show the month of June, when Dawson took the trip to Abilene with his wife, the district spent around $2,000 on fuel for the plane. Dawson's flight to Abilene was one of the longest that month, according to flight records.
Did you reimburse them for the fuel?
So I paid for the fuel, and I've paid for fuel before, yes.
Right, so that
Yes.
you paid for fuel for that trip because the district's receipts didn't show any sort of reimbursement for that.
Well, because I pay for it on my credit card.
You pay for it on your
times,
credit
yes,
card when you go for the
absolutely.
back and forth
But
trips.
the
Gotcha.
district says Dawson had not paid for fuel for the Abilene trip. Instead, they say he, quote, recognized the optics of choosing Abilene as a location for keeping his certification current and decided to make a donation. That $200 donation was made 2 days after we spoke to Dawson and 3 months after the flight. The district's personnel policy is clear. Educators shall not intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly use property or equipment for personal gain or advantage.
District property is intended for a particular public use, right? It's intended to benefit the students.
In Granbury, I'm William Joy.